Hi, Anthony Nitz here. Hey, this is a response to a couple of inquiries. I did a June 2013 update answering a question about whether or not I think somebody should sell their house now. And I'm of the opinion that, it's something you very, very seriously ought to consider at this particular point in time. And the responses was, well, hey, based on what you showed us, why the heck would we sell now? And they're mostly referring to this chart here because you're seeing on this chart, I've got, the blue line is the days on market, and that as of, January 2012, roughly January, February, whatever, the days on market have been decreasing considerably. And likewise, this is the median list price. And so, you can see that the list prices for these properties are increasing as well. And so they say, well, gosh, if the prices are going up like that, why the heck would we sell now? Why wouldn't we just ride it out and let this thing skyrocket through the roof like it did in 2000 to 2006? And here's a couple of my opinions on this. First of all, prices are not as low as when the 2000 boom started. In 2000, give or take, you could buy a house like I did. I bought a beautiful house in a great area, 1,700 square feet, 3-bedroom, quarter acre lot. I mean, just fabulous location. We loved the location, and we actually bought it for $167,000. But let's compare it at $200,000. So back then we could really buy a lot more for our money at $200,000. But yeah, sure, interest rates were a little bit higher, so 6.5% perhaps. As I recall, that's what our loan was at. So 6.5% in 2000, or at the very least late 90s, versus a $400,000 loan at 4.5% today, which you just saw on that chart. If I go back, the median, they're saying the median sales price is actually $600,000. So I'm being very generous when I'm talking about $400,000. And, based on current rates today, as of this recording, they're pushing the 4.5% mark right now. So 4.5%, somewhere in there. So if you compare those, you got $1,264 versus $2,026 just for an entry level type of house. And I can tell you this right now, because I'm working with clients who are searching for them, there are hardly any homes available that are under the $350,000 range. I mean, even in the condos, anything decent is in the $350,000 and higher range. So, the point of entry is still a lot different. If we're looking at $600,000, you're talking about a $3,000 a month starting payment. And also, huge difference, in my opinion, is that the financing options are not available like they were in 2000-ish, 2000 and 2007. So back then, you can get a stated income with no income and no asset verification. So guys who were working at McDonald's had good credit, and so they were qualifying for loans well beyond their means. And a lot of people did, and that's why, unfortunately, a lot of the people are in the trouble that they're in now, or have been over the last several years. How about 80-20 financing? So back then, I could get an 80% first, I can get a 20% second, 100% financing. There's no skin in the game, but at the same time, I'm probably overextending myself because I just, it just doesn't make sense to buy a house with 100% financing, honestly. But those were available, and so you could sell a house, for a really high price back then, because of the options. If we take a look at the options today, you got your VA no down payment loans. Okay, and that's a right that the veterans have earned. That's part of their benefits that they get, that they have the ability to do a no down payment loan. FHA, 3.5% down required, some restrictions on that. If you want to do a conventional loan, you're looking at 20% down. Okay, now somebody's going to say, hey, I know a guy who does 10% down, and hey, I know a guy who does, maybe 5%. I haven't seen any 5% downs, but and I'm even stretching to say that there's somebody doing 10%. I always see all kinds of different ad programs with, teasers for these loans that try to mimic and replicate that of 2000, 2007. But if you're thinking about, man, let's just let this thing go up and up and up, the options are not there. They just are not there from the financing side to allow that to happen. That's just my opinion. And, very simply, individuals' economies have not recovered like they, were in 97 to 2007. There was a lot of people spending a lot of money and doing a lot of, fun stuff. And, I see more often than not, everybody's being pretty darn frugal, which is not a bad thing. That's not bad at all, but they are being frugal. And it's just because they don't have the disposable income like they did, or we did back then, myself included. And so, in the end of the day, there is really only one way to identify and be sure that we have hit the peak of the market. So you can plan on this. You can count on this. I've been studying this for 20 years, figuring this out. And there is one way, and only one way that I know of, that you can be sure, hey, we're at the peak of the market right now, and now is the time to sell. And that way is only once it has passed us by. Sorry, folks. There is no magic crystal ball. There's too many variables involved. Markets in play, money's in play, economy in play, foreign governments and politics involved. Too many things to be able to predict when we've actually hit the peak of the market, local economies and things like that. And so, I'd say it, even the government doesn't know exactly, and they've got all the big wigs up there making the big bucks, crunching all the numbers. They can't even tell us when we have hit the market, or we have hit the peak of the market, or we have hit the bottom of the market. So, this is kind of my rebuttal to the questions that I had been asked about. Hey, you're showing us that the prices are increasing. Why would we sell now? Well, I think these are some very important things to take into consideration. Examine your own situation, and and of course make your own decisions. But if you'd like an evaluation of your property, what you think it might sell for, what I might think it might sell for you in today's market right now, then I'm happy to do that for you, do that evaluation. And no cost, no obligation, of course. So just give me a call. My number is right there on the screen, 714-900-2710. So just give me a call. I'm happy to chat with you about it. Okay. Hey, thanks so much for listening, guys. We'll talk to you soon.